is Nabila Ashura, and I will give an overview about the movie Kartini, the Princess of Java. So Kartini has a strong will for education and knowledge, and she highlights the importance of gender equality. She also believes that education is crucial for everyone, and Kartini comes from an aristocrat family in Indonesia.
The movie makes me sad that how hard the woman then tries to get equality for the woman now, and it can be an eye-opening for the people who are very conservative about women should not be equal as men, as this movie has proved that women can be equal as men. The first problem in Kartini is inequality. Why? Because it is arranged marriage. Arranged marriage, women cannot choose who they want to marry, thus they suffer from arranged marriage, and this would bring down the value of a woman rather than men. Second of all is polygamy. Polygamy would make the first wife and the other wife suffer because the men would choose the wife who is younger and also have a high status than the previous wife. And third of all is the education. The wealthy family would get education, and not only wealthy, men and wealthy family who will only get education. The second point is conservative. First, there is no exposure in the family. Second of all is all mindset. This is where the pinyitan comes to in place, which is when it keeps women from going to the outside world, and they will keep them inside their room until they are married. And third of all is reluctant to change. This is when Kartini's dad would fight with his friends on not letting Kartini to go abroad for studies because they would say that she would be more powerful than men. Thirdly is dominant patriarchal. This is when hierarchy of classes comes into place, and how you speak and behave, it depends on the gender and classes that you are in a hierarchy. And the woman has to obey their mother, their father, their mother, and also their brothers. Even if they are younger or older, you need to obey them because they are men. And there's one situation where they would sembah and also squat walking. Kartini squat walk to her father while she is sitting on the floor. Her father is sitting on the chair, and she won't even dare to look at her father because the fear that she has for her father. Lastly is lack of knowledge. Kartini doesn't know how to recite Quran when she hears the Imam who recites the Quran. She heard a phrase of Islam doesn't discriminate women, and men and women required to acquire the same equal knowledge. And she wants to translate the Quran from Arabic to Japanese so people will have a better understanding of the Quran, and this is where people would have more knowledge in mind.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Binti matrix number 2019424104. So the question 3 that I need to answer is, what is the message of this movie, and do you agree or disagree with it? The message that I can get from this movie is to fight against discrimination that man gave to Javanese women. The first point that I can get from this movie is Kartini inspiration for fighting for equality as largely originated from these two people, which is her brother that studied from Netherlands and her father's friend which is from Dutch. So that's why she wants to connect and communicate with them to make her activity, which is to fight against discrimination towards women, to be seen to the people around her. Second point that we can get is Kartini learned that Islam teaching do not discriminate against women, as men and women are equally required to acquire knowledge. So that's why she wants Quran to be translated in Javanese language. So that's why people can read and be more understanding that women and men can acquire knowledge together.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur binti Hisham, and right now I'm going to explain to you on our arguments of why do we agree to the message delivered by the movie, which is to fight against discrimination, and also relating the message with the study of organizational behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that discrimination also occurs at workplace? So what is discrimination? In simpler words, discrimination is a situation where a person is being treated unfairly or badly just because of that person is one of a particular group. People may be discriminated on the basis of races, gender, as well as their age. So, relating to the study of organizational behavior, we need to fight against discrimination at workplace because firstly, it would give negative impacts towards the employee on both mentally and physically. Secondly, it would develop poor work culture such as lack of motivation to complete the task given to them, and as well as arriving late to work. And lastly, it would affect the loyalty of employees as it will increase the absentees rates and employees turnover. Examples of gender discrimination at workplace is firstly choosing a less qualified candidate of the opposite sex. This usually happens during the interview. Secondly is segregating or limiting one gender. This is like giving big projects to only the preferred gender. And thirdly, compensating employees unequally without justification. This is because everyone of equal position should get equal salary, benefits as well as bonus. And fourthly is sexually harassing on employee. This is when irresponsible employer took advantage of their high position.
So the suggestion to minimize the issue is to move into a positive environment to help you succeed and get access to knowledge. The behavior modification states that learning can be gained through social environment where antecedent is what happens before action is taken. An action will be taken based on the knowledge that we have. So we need to move into a positive environment in order to get positive outcomes in terms of our actions, knowledge, and also success. So the next suggestion to minimize the issue is to give equal treatments to everyone to conquer the problem of inequality. The three ethical principles talks about individual rights, where everyone has entitlements to act in certain ways in the society. So here, individuals must be given equal treatments, especially in terms of receiving education, workplace treatments, and many more.
My name is Muhammad Syahid bin Muhammad Syahid, so today I will talk about the suggestion to minimize issue in Kartini's movie. So my first point is find an inspiration or motivation to change the way of life. In Kartini's movie, we know that Kartini got the motivation to face the challenge and to change her way of life from her bro. So in this motivation, it refers to the expectancy theory of the motivation that talks about the outcome of a certain action. This is basically on OB chapter 5. So the reason why we need a motivation is because with the motivation we can achieve something and also everything. We need to have a motivation so that we can kick all the difficulties that we know. So my next point is make a clear communication so that there will be no misunderstanding. So in this Kartini's movie, Kartini's put a requirement regarding about her wedding. So there will be two ways of communication. So it refers to the types of communication that is verbal, also non-verbal. So the reason why we need communication is because we use it daily in life. So it's very important so that other people also know about our desire. So by having this communication, we also can avoid from misunderstanding from each other. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
So as for a conclusion, the movie of Kartini, Princess of Java is a very inspiring movie as it delivers many valuable messages. Besides that, this movie can also be related to the study of organizational behavior as the messages can be seen to remain relevant until today. The context of equality and importance of knowledge are among the messages highlighted in the movie that should be taken into the organizational consideration. This is to create a better environment for the members of the organization. Thus, this movie is highly recommended and worth watching as it provides a great insight that could inspire us to improve to be better.